Welcome. This mill was the center of the community, actually from the very beginning of Watermill. But there is more to the story of our history. This upstairs gallery gives us a selection of small exhibits that chronicle some of the important chapters of this settlement that the colonists named Watermill in the 17th century. Agriculture started with the Shinnecocks, the native people who lived here from about 8000 BC. They raised crops and animals and fished and hunted. Notice the hoe with the blade of bone. And notice the Indian basket made out of natural oak splint. There were mills that harnessed wind power besides this mill that was powered by water. These historic photographs show the variety of windmill shapes and sizes. The power helped our community saw wood for houses and barns and grind grain for both farm animals as well as their families. Whaling was a very important industry. During the first quarter of the 19th century, it was at its height. Many local men went to sea for several years to bring back the whale oil for lamps and the bone for corsets and tools. Colonists exported cattle, corn, wool, grain, firewood, as well as oil from the occasional beached whales. Just imagine plowing a field with a horse harnessed to this plow and you walking behind it. You had to steady it, walk miles back and forth, making furrows for the seeds. Also hanging on the wall is a very rare farmer's smock, which is over 200 years old. Blocks of ice were a big business before the invention of the electric refrigerator in the early 20th century. Ice was harvested from local ponds in Mecox Bay. There are many types of ice cutting blades. The museum is proud of its collection of the tools used in harvesting ice. Most of the blocks were shipped to New York City by train and boxcars. The 19th century was an age of great inventiveness. There were hundreds of ways to improve storing and preparing of food. Here's an egg crate for shipping eggs on the train. Farming was also made easier by new patents and machinery. This corner shows a seed planter, butter or lard press, and a few improved churns for making butter. Any extra butter would be used like cash to barter for the things the country store had that you couldn't make at home. The fishing in Watermill was spectacular. The abundance of fish, shellfish, and other aquatic life brought wealth to the locals and pleasure to the summer people. Men clamming. The men on the beach are haul-seining fish. Father and son crabbing. Most commercial catch was transported to New York City. This display shows potato bags, peach baskets, and an antique wheelbarrow, all representing new cash crops of the early 20th century from Watermill farms. We are walking by the old post boxes that were once part of the country store. This section dates from about 1900. Since the mail was sorted on the train, it could be delivered the same day. Our tour ends with a wall dedicated to the men and women of Watermill who lost their lives serving their country, from the Revolutionary War to the conflict of the Gulf. Thank you for coming to visit our museum. Please return.